they have their original starting roster now, and they're picking up the composition that they're most well known for. These guys actually have the tendency to lose their first game and come back with a sweep to finish the overall series, and this is something that we could possibly see again. So it's going to be up to Team Clesia, like how can they finish this off? What kind of plays will they be able to make that will give them that advantage where they do need Vox to scale very well.
Absolutely.
They will have a lot of trouble getting to that back line,
Yep.
especially with Blackfeather always diving deep, and Vox, he is going to have trouble. Like, he's going up against an Afterbird, he's going up against the Goop and the Spitfires coming out of Scarf.
Yep, I see. So here the comp looks way better to me at the moment for G2 Kinguin in comparison with the first match. However, Team Clesia had a solid draft, taking that Black Feather, and of course no doubt here that there will be a Crystal Power Vox utilizing here the huge burst AoE damage, and on the other side we saw the Arden, which is a solid thing together with the Glaive, you know, a couple of gap closes protecting that Scarf, trying to put, I mean, we're on 1.17, you know, the Spitfire, super important, place the Goop under it to get the maximum damage out of there. Was like a kind of a nerf, but not really. It was more like a damage shifting thing which happened there, but still I feel Scarf is right where he belongs to, isn't he?
Yeah, Scarf is very viable, and he's probably one of the most often picked laner, especially within this meta within 1.17. We will be probably seeing like a jungle Vox coming out of this match,
Yep.
paired up with the Fortress. So he will have to prioritize grabbing a lot of early attack speed to make the most out of this, or he will have a lot of trouble with, you know, Glaive coming in and just demolishing him.
Alright, so we will see. That game is promising. Stay with us. Action Jackson, X-Counterl, calling the shots here, guys. Take it away.
All right, well, we've got the Scarf coming out, a EU special, or at least it historically has been, but we haven't seen it a huge amount recently. Redix, of course, very well known for that hero. And the Jungle Vox, just like Rome predicted, coming across from Clesia. They managed to win this first game in what could be described as a bit of an upset against G2. We'll have to see how game 2 goes.
I feel like this is just G2 returning to their roots with this Scarf. We saw Scarf have ridiculous success last weekend, and it hasn't received bans here and hasn't received picks. I don't know what happened in a week. I don't know whether the potential dragon fetish is just gone for EU teams, but Scarf has been ignored for these guys as of such of yet, and it had such ridiculous success last week.
Yeah, it does surprise me more than a little bit, just because it has always been a mainstay of Europe, and even after the shifting, as Blueberries put it, of damage, it wasn't really a nerf. It's just if you're a good Scarf player, you're still going to be putting pretty much the same amount of damage out. You're just going to be doing it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing how Scarf performs here, because it's the first time we've seen it this weekend, and it was always really exciting last weekend. There was several clutch plays involving Dragon's Breath and Eve of Harvest that had me right on the edge of my seat. So I'm very much looking forward to see whether this kind of thing can happen again during this weekend. He's actually going to be moving aggressively.
Wow.
He's trying to take the. I think he does. I think he gets it.
Oh,
No.
not quite.
Not
John
quite.
picks it up with the last auto attack. Very bold by Redix, though. I mean, that's definitely worth having a look at. Instead of saying, all right, I need to pick up some items, so I'm going to go on my side of the lane, safely, down where I know my junglers are, he was like, I'm just going to check your middle camp first,
Well,
by
Black
myself.
Yeah, Blackfeather had kind of frozen just ever so slightly. It was very risky to move through the brush unaided, but he did have close support of his jungle duo, you know, fairly close by. But I do like the tactic, you know, Blackfeather there, kind of freezing the lane. You're going to force Scarf to stay in an aggressive position, or Scarf is just going to wander into your jungle and try and take away jungle camps. So I like that from G2. It's a very unique but interesting play, and I also like the fact that Blackfeather is the one to be in lane here as well, like you said, the jungle Vox. You know, Blackfeather has the tools potentially necessary to deal with Scarf in a one-on-one. We very rarely see that kind of
Rotation.
happen. Okay,
Dark
he's coming
Energy.
down.
He actually jumps over the wall right onto Dark Potato. Justman is so low right now, though. He needs to back away. Afterburn sets up the easy kill for Dark Potato. Dark Energy wants to keep something going here, but without Justman available to the cause, I think it's a little bit too risky. Dawn and Dark Energy need to back away. G2 with first blood in game 2.
Yeah, and G2 have a point to prove here. They definitely were the favourites to win, potentially 2-0. I think if anyone were to take a prediction here, most people would have said G2 had the ability to 2-0 this quite easily. And Team Clytia have thrown a spanner in the works with their first game victory. You know, we've seen every series go to 3 games as of yet. Even, you know, for Justice, who most people would have said were easily going to lose 2-0. Every series has gone to 3, and that just shows you the level of competition we have here in Europe for Vainglory. They are all on the top of their game right now. Every composition brings something unique and different. Everyone is playing them in slightly different ways, and the adaptation that we're seeing through series is good. This may be an overextension move from G2.
Yeah, Justman very low. Dark Potato could probably pick up this kill unless Justman can just stay in the bushes. He actually gets away. Now Dingo going to be going down. What was that overextension coming across from G2? They got a little bit too big for their britches there.
I think, you know, Redix, the Black Feather disappears, and where is he gone? Well, he's only going to go one direction, and that is towards your invading duo. And actually, Redix was there like, oh, well, I think I'm just going to farm the lane a little bit more. And to be honest, was the right decision. He wasn't going to make it there to have a significant impact in time, especially without his ultimate. And it was a nice collapse by Team Clytia. Good team coordination and team communication.
John, he's going for a bit more fight in here. Actually very healthy. Could be kind of hard for Dark Potato to turn this one around, especially when he is as low as he is. John jumping forward, trying to keep this one going. Dark Energy here as well. Dingo could be the next target on point. Gonna land, and that is a kill. Dark Potato having to back away here. Actually, he wants to chance his luck by going for the healing camp. If he moves down to the double, he could get picked up. Justman, oh, if they had just waited in the bush, just a tiny bit to see what Dark Potato was up to, he might have picked up that kill. Redix also taking a lot of pressure in the lane. All of a sudden, it's like a switch has been flipped. Clesia is starting to go for the kills. That afterburn totally condemned Redix to death as well. The shield, Dark Energy, the on point saves him. He gets away. Wait for it. Does silence up Dark Potato, but there's not enough follow-up. Afterburn.
I'm not so sure of that afterburn there, Jackson. Don't think it was. He's like, oh, Black Feather needs to gap close against Redix. I know what I'll do. I'll punt him into him. Yeah, I'm also a little bit on the edge about whether that afterburn was potentially the right course of action. I feel like it just condemned this dragon to, unfortunately, a very pointy end.
Yep, I've got to agree with you. I think it was very, very audacious.
You love this word today. I like that you're going for audacious. It's a really nice word.
It was also maybe a bit controversial. I like that word too. Dingo right now, he's in a bit of a controversial position, getting collapsed on by Dark Energy and Justman, easily picked up by Clesia. They're starting to snowball this game pretty heavily. 5 kills to 1, 2,000 gold in the lead at 6 minutes. See if they can keep this ball rolling, though. That is a question. It looks like it. Dark Potato, oh, just barely able to get into the turret. John abandoned the kill. Justman was like, man, we got this. John was like, nah, back camps are worth it. Which
Team Clytia relishing the opportunity here to throw everything they have at G2. And it's been working out so well so far. Built up a 2k gold lead as of yet. Actually, I think Dark Potato's going to have to be careful here. Do you be greedy or do you back? I think you back, but...
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he has vision yet of the fact that the gold mine is being taken, so he doesn't really know exactly. Well, now he does, with it going down. He knows Clesia.
I guess they have no idea that he's there, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, they'd have to abandon turret and hunt if they wanted him.
And that's a lot of time they'll be wasting.
Yeah. It's a little bit too bold. So I think, yeah, it makes sense for him to stick around. Dark Potato's pretty well known for doing this, though. So maybe if Clesia has been watching footage of G2's games, then you could totally predict this just based on player tendencies.
Yeah, I mean, we know Dark Potato loves to be super aggressive. Clytia, they're looking to be aggressive again. Yep. Yeah,
he's not getting out of that one.
See ya.
Doesn't have very many ways to escape from dives like that by himself. Obviously, Scarf, a fairly immobile hero, and at this point, not sitting on a reflex block. He's only got the boots, so that's his only escape avenue.
And he's got frostburn, so you know he's got a singular form of kiting that he's sitting on, but that's not even enough.
That time the punt might have been good. Oh, he just barely gets out of there. Fountain doing some serious work. Justman has Dark Energy's back there. G2, every single attempt at aggression they make is being answered very aptly and really checked by Clesia right now.
The Rose defensive once more. It's it's been really key to a lot of, like we said, we call it Rose offensive because obviously that's the name of the ability, but more often than not it is used in a defensive capability, and it's worked out well. I mean, Dark Energy is farming up a storm as well. 81 minions right now, is kind of starting to eclipse the farm coming out from Redix, who has really had a tough time on this Scarf so far against a very mobile team that is looking to punish this dragon for having even the audacity to be picked.
Certainly seems that way. Right now, Redix sitting at 0-2-0 with 70 farm. Not having an incredible performance versus Dark Energy, who's 5-0-1 with 85 farm. He's already picked up that Serpent's Mask, has the reflex block. He's doing some good damage. He's got to be careful now moving into lane against 3 people, but actually, with the rotation coming through, the attack the pack getting popped, they might want to keep the fight going. Gauntlet doing a nice job of zoning them out, though, and a Dragon's Breath turning things around. Doesn't have a lot of damage yet, though, and wait for it. John wanted to go back in, couldn't find the opening, though. With Dingo very low here, we might see Clesia go for some kind of a dive, but gotta remember, Fountain is available for Dingo. That is possible. Dark Potato gonna have to afterburn back as well. No pick potential for G2K. Clesia just forcing the hand of G2 there, really making them dance to the beat of their drum as they go for the gold mine right now.
Yeah, and their drum is sounding war right now, Jackson, because that's what they're trying to achieve here. Really taking the fight to G2. And yeah, I've got to be honest, I think Dark Energy has done so well that he's obviously gone for that Serpent's Mask. I think if he was in a slightly less advantageous position, you may have seen him go for Shiver Steel, just so he could stick to... Yeah, Redix is dead. See ya. Dingo. Dingo now on the menu
Dingo's
as well.
Also dead. Dark Energy is able to pick that one up. I mean, this is out of hand, right? Like, I know obviously Scarf is going to be doing a lot of damage in the late game if they get there. But do you get there at this point? You're like 4,000, about to be 5,000 gold behind. And there's a Black Feather and a Vox who are getting strong on the other side. Does your one late game carry really compete with that?
I feel like you need some bronze items, and some bronze items quickly right now, because it is both a weapon power Vox and obviously Black Feather in that weapon power regime. I do like... Oh,
Dingo. Don't face check, buddy. He's going to be going down. I don't see him getting out of that one. Dragon's Breath popped, but again, no damage. He's stunned up. Doesn't even really get as much as he'd like away there. John does have to get healed up by Just Man's Fountain, but 2 very fast kills going across to Clesia. Man, these guys making a great case for themselves moving forward into semifinals tomorrow if they can win this game against previously second place qualifier position G2K. Certainly a team to pay attention to moving into the Spring Championships.
They've impressed me. Honestly, they came almost, in some regards, out of nowhere, given their...
Dark Potato!
Yeah.
He's trying to make things happen right now, but just Dark Energy is too far ahead. Jumps in 1 versus 2 against both of the damage threats, actually, of G2. Still able to pick one up. Gets a second now onto Dingo as well. Redix the last man standing for G2. All he can really do is wave clear. I mean, that's pretty much it at this point. And in fact, he might have overextended a bit. Dark Energy doesn't have another Rose offensive to keep the pressure going, though, so he's going to have to back off. We're only 12 minutes in, and we've had 12 kills. It's a kill a minute for Clesia. And they can't even go for Kraken yet. This is ridiculous.
So, I mean, we kind of have a theory proved here. If you want to power a death-killing machine, it is always better to go for Dark Energy over Dark Potatoes. I feel like this was too forced.
I love that. I love that stuff, man. The more forced it is, the better.
The more cringy, the better.
Exactly.
No, I mean right now you've just got a really fed Black Feather. He thrives on the ability to dive in on those immobile carries. That is kind of why Black Feather sees play. And right now you have a super underfed Scarf who hasn't yet finished his second tier 3 item. And you have a very, very, very fed Black Feather who is just able to delete him in a couple of hits. I mean, he's sitting on a bone sword now as well. So, you know, even if armor is going to be picked up here, they have the answers to it already. I think that's a weapon infusion for Vox as well. So keep an eye on when that's going to get popped, because that could spell essentially looking for a huge team fight to try and at least close out the majority of the game. They're going to get the minion mine here. And we're seeing a super dominant Team Clytia. They're going to walk straight into Dark Potato.
Yeah, but Justman with great reactions realizes what's up and backs off. They didn't even get hit by the scout trap, so easy escape for Clesia. They've avoided overextending here, and with 1.5 minutes till Kraken, maybe now is when you start to just play it a bit safer, choke out G2 by taking all of the resources from the jungle, and make it so you can more easily go for that later on. That said, looks like they want to go for a fight. Dingo immediately going to get popped. Dark Player has to afterburn away here. Doesn't have the potential to go for a pick, as Redix uses Dragon's Breath to wave
Just
clear.
a clear wave.
Yeah. Not what you want to be doing. It's not the dream situation, right?
No,
Like,
I mean, when I pick Scarf, I don't think, I just can't wait to burn some minions. Can't wait to just to crisp up some minions on this on the Rift. Yeah, I think I think this is a desperate situation for G2 at this point. They're staring down a 10k gold disadvantage. Another gold mine potentially on the cards here before the Kraken spawns in 45 seconds. That Kraken will be an easy take for Team Clytia. Yeah.
They're just denying the minion mine again and again. This is Dark Potato must be so sad right now. I feel really bad for him because he is not able to get into the jungle and do anything.
Well, his dreams have certainly been mashed.
They have indeed.
He's feeling a bit half-baked right now.
Oh, man. Baked
I
potatoes
don't
are
think
fairly
he knows what
unique
he's doing.
to England, aren't they? They're not popular like in the States, right?
What's that, sorry? Potatoes?
Baked potatoes.
Baked
specifically.
potatoes, I'm not sure. I don't know if you missed my amazing Dauphinois know what he's doing, but I tried.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of all the iterations of potatoes and how I can make them into puns. It's kind of become my new hobby, given how hard Team Clesia are winning at this point in time.
Look at this Kraken.
Yeah.
Look how quickly it is dying.
You got to look at
18
Vox as well.
seconds
We've not
from
talked
spawn,
about Vox.
and it is actually untargetable for a few seconds when it spawns whilst it's climbing out of the pit. So they killed that in like 15 seconds or less.
That's pretty ridiculous, and you can see Vox has actually picked up some nice items himself. He's got a piercing spear as well, so he'll start to at least puncture through a portion of the armor.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be very useful moving forwards here. We'll have to see if he needs it though necessarily.
Yeah,
I think he probably could have made it happen without. But the Kraken now gonna be the 4th member on Clesia, starting to move forward towards these turrets. Can G2 defend? If they go out now, they will not, for the first time in a while, be making it forward to the finals of a qualifier. Wait for it gets popped already, but not really going to do too much. Sorry, not actually gets popped. That wasn't on point. John has to jump backwards. Dark Potato actually picks up a kill. Dark Energy is struggling to get in the best position here. With John X already down, could actually be a good fight for G2. They need to deal with the Kraken, though. It's still relatively healthy as Dark Energy starts to swap focus onto the turret. Everything looks like it's kind of falling apart for Clesia right now, but Dark Energy stays alive just for that little bit longer. They are going to get aced, but now there's always the threat of a back door. You can just rose offensive over the wall and jump onto that Vein Crystal. Pretty scary times for both teams, actually, off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of comeback. Yeah. A lot of comeback gold achieved there, by the way, for G2. They've actually basically halved the gold deficit. If only our government could do the same. Oh no, I'm pulling out too many. And actually, at that time right now, Redix absolutely on fire. You know, really living up to Dark Potato's expectations and using that Dragon's Breath to roast his opponents. I'm gonna stop now.
No, don't. It was me for too long. Vedius didn't do these.
Oh no, Vedius. This is why everyone liked Vedius, you see, because he was the voice of reason. We're just too much of a joke.
Oh man. Well, maybe you are.
Oh, wow, okay. Wow. I am.
All right, let's get back to focusing here.
So Shiver Steel
right
actually, interestingly, item Shiver Steel picked up for Justman, which I find super interesting over something like a Crucible, which could have been used to at least negate some portion of the gauntlet. And you can see Justman doesn't actually have his own reflex block at all. So if that Crucible comes down, he will be stuck.
Wait for it, actually going to silence up Dark Potato, delays his escape from that fight a little bit. Dingo also extremely low here, but actually Redix getting some great damage on the backline down to John. Dark Energy, he wants to try and finish the game perhaps, but an Afterburn stops him. Just Man is able to help him secure the first kill onto Dingo, but that's the least important target for Clesia to take down. Can he actually get away here? Oh, the Afterburn, he burns away to fan the flames. It's another ace for G2. This time they lose 2 members, but the Vein Crystal, crucially, still full health after that exchange. Seems like Clesia, maybe the lack of experience in the competitive scene is making it difficult for them to close out this game.
I feel like they're focusing in too heavily on that soul. I mean, obviously you want to kill the Vein Crystal, but I feel like they need to approach these team fights the same way they had approached them previously. The issue is now there's the Eve of Harvest and there's a 3-item spike on this Scarf. He's pretty hard to kill, and they're just leaving John to his own devices. They're like, don't worry about John. He could just sit in the back line and get absolutely burned, and then we'll just leave Blackfeather to do what Blackfeather does. The issue for me personally is it looks the way Clytia are approaching these team fights now is that they're saying, well, okay, we're just going to provide a distraction while we try and get Blackfeather into a position where he can kill the Vein Crystal. But that's not going to happen if you don't take out Scarf. I feel like do what you did previously. Just burst everything onto Scarf, try and silence him. Dragon's Breath won't come down. Burn him before he can get any use of that Eve of Harvest, and then potentially win the game.
Yeah, I mean, Scarf has to be the target here, and we might see that this time. Redix is in the middle of the fight. Dark Potato has to escape, though, as he's taking a lot of damage. Redix, look at this. They're trying to pile onto him. The Dragon's Breath burning everyone down. Eve of Harvest keeping them alive, but Dark Energy finds 2. Dingo, the last man standing. This time, 3rd time's the charm. Clesia picking themselves up the ace, and they might be looking to end the game. Can Dark Energy sprint forward to the Vein Crystal? I don't see how he can, actually. It's 30-second death timers here. No turrets in the way to reduce those, and Dark Energy extremely fed. Team Clesia, in our first 2-0 of the quarterfinals, will be taking down formerly second-place team of Qualifier 1, G2 Kinguin, in one of the biggest upsets we could have had, even, in this quarterfinals.
Yeah, he's got a huge amount of time just to finish down this Vein Crystal. And he'll be having shish kebab potatoes tonight. I don't even know. There was nowhere I could go with that. That's not a thing.
Because if it is, I want some. But
you want some? We've invented a new thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they went back to the roots of their team fight on that last team fight. They said, okay, we're ignoring Scarf for too long. He's actually an issue now. Let's try and burn him down. You saw John and Blackfeather ran very deep, everything burnt onto Scarf, and with that Eve of Harvest, he was pretty hard to take down, but eventually Blackfeather surviving through that team fight and able to clean up everybody in an ace and run away with the game. I think it was fair to say that Team Clytia deserved that victory. They played it incredibly well, and congratulations to them. They are essentially in what is almost a David versus Goliath situation, and they managed to swing that potato right between the eyes.
Yeah, I mean, just for people's perspective, a lot of teams got points for qualification last qualifier, obviously. So Kinguin was one of those. G2, they got 80 from coming second. Clesia did not actually place in the top 8 last qualifier, so they had 0 points moving into qualifier 2 and managed to get to 30 moving into this week. So now that they've actually won this series, they've made a huge, on paper, this is an absolutely tremendous upset, although I think some people kind of expected it to happen with their performance. Let's throw it back to the analysts, though, because we have one more quarterfinals for Europe before we move on to the North American portion of the VGL. I can't wait to get the next series underway.
Thank you very much, Action Jackson and X Caldwell. What a game here. Team Clesia winning over G2 Kinguin. So, Rome, let's break down the game a little.